I'm Louise Williams, a chartered physiotherapist from Houghton on the Wirral.
My name's Dan Hewitt. I'm a civil servant from Chesley Street, County Durham.
I'm Danielle Sanderson, a tutor for a computer consultancy, and I'm from Hertfordshire.
My name's Les Shutt, a farm manager from near Ruthin, North Wales.
Good evening, welcome to the Krypton Factor and the second heat in Group A. Last week you remember that Mike Berry got the series off to a flying start with a splendid victory after a dramatic tie-break with Bob Smith. Well, Mike will be joined in the Group A final in 2 weeks' time by tonight's winner and possibly by the runner-up if he or she can score more than Bob Smith's 38 points. And for that added bit of incentive, the group final is only one step away from that trip to California to try and land the American space shuttle in the world's most sophisticated simulator. So let me now wish tonight's contestants, Louise Williams, Dan Hewitt, Danielle Sanderson and Les Shutt, the very best of luck for the 6 tough rounds that lie ahead. Would you put your headphones on now, please, contestants, for maximum concentration. And here we go now into round 1, mental agility. And tonight's test features famous phrases. I'll give each contestant a well-known phrase and then ask a series of questions based on it. For example, if the quotation was "far from the madding crowd," typical questions would be, give me the letters of the third word in reverse order, or how many vowels are there in the fourth word? The answers would be EHT, which is the third word the backwards, and 2, the number of vowels in madding, the fourth word. As always, this is a speed test, and each contestant must answer as many questions as he or she can in 40 seconds. We begin with you, Louise. Your phrase is, "You know my methods, Watson," and your 40 seconds start now. The fourth letter in the sentence.
K.
The fourth word in the sentence.
Methods.
The whole quote backwards.
Watson methods my know you.
The fourth word spelt backwards.
SDOHTEM.
The middle word.
My.
How many letters in the last word?
6.
The last letters of each word.
U, W, Y, S, N.
The middle letter of the fourth word.
H.
How many... Right. Time's up, and in 40 seconds, Louise, a great start. You got 8 right. Well done. And now we move on to Den. Your phrase, Den, is the roast beef of England, and your 40 seconds start now. The last letter in the sentence.
D.
The fourth word in the sentence.
Of.
The whole quote backwards.
England of beef roaster.
The middle word.
Beef.
The last word spelt backwards.
DNALGNE.
The last letter of each word.
ETFFD.
How many letters in the second word?
5.
The middle letter of the last word.
G.
Wrong. How many consonants in this... Well, no need to answer that. In 40 seconds, very good start for you, Den. You've scored 7. Well done. And we move along now to Danielle. Your phrase is only in the mating season, and your 40 seconds start now. The fourth word in the sentence.
Mating.
The whole quote backwards.
Season mating the in only.
The third letter in the sentence.
L.
The last word spelt backwards.
NOSAES.
Middle word in the sentence.
The.
How many letters in the fourth word?
6.
The last letter of each word.
YNEGN.
The fourth letter of the fourth word.
I.
How many vowels in the last word?
3.
How many consonants in the fourth word?
4.
How many letters in the third and fourth words together? No need to answer that. You have a magnificent start there. In 40 seconds, you've scored an incredible 10. Finally, it's Les, and your phrase is on the bridge at midnight, and your 40 seconds start now. The second letter in the sentence?
N.
The third word in the sentence?
At.
Wrong. The whole quote backwards?
Midnight at bridge the on.
What's the middle word?
Bridge.
The last word spelt backwards?
Thgindim.
How many letters in the third word?
6.
The fourth letter of the fifth word?
N.
The last letter of each word?
N, E, E, T, T.
How many consonants in the last word?
6.
Just missed it there. 6 was right, but just after the buzzer sounded. But still, in 40 seconds, you've got 7. Well done, Les. That's such a tough round to start off with, where the nerves are still jangling, and there was some tremendous scoring there. And with the usual 10 points, 6, 4 and 2 for first, second, third and fourth, let's look at the scoreboard to see how it worked out. And 2 contestants sharing third place with 4 points, Dan and Les. Then in second place, Louise, but the early leader with a Krypton factor of 10. From Oxley Village, Hertfordshire, Danielle Sanderson. The RAF's Hawk training and light strike aircraft. It has a maximum speed of 550 knots and lands at 130 knots. And achieving a nighttime landing is the task we've set our contestants using the Hawk simulator at Lancing, Sussex. The instructor and assessor of these landing attempts is Flight Lieutenant Barry Wright of 63 Squadron.
Remember, we want to keep those yellow needles as close to the center as we can, okay? In front of you, we also got the joystick or the control column, and remember, push forward.
The Wirral's Louise Williams is the first to attempt the approach into Hong Kong Airport. To make sure that her wings are level and that her descent is at the right angle, she'll keep a close eye on this instrument. The horizontal floating bar, bottom right, tells her she's too high, so by pushing the joystick forward, she'll correct the error and the bar will return to the center. Looking tense as she reaches the critical point. But so far so good, a nice approach, the runway straight ahead as she relives the moment in the studio there. Just needs to hold steady, and that's a nice landing. She's made it, and just beginning to veer off the runway now, not controlling the rollout with her feet, but a good performance overall. Well done, Louise Williams. Next is Geordie Den Hewitt. His early approach has been good, but he's just a bit high as he reaches the start of the runway. Needs to ease the nose down, but not too drastically. The joystick on the Hawk is very, very sensitive. Now, is he going to make it? He's over the center line, but beginning to drift right. He needs to correct it or he'll miss the runway. And he's over the grass now, and the sea's only a few yards further over to the right, I can tell you. But he's down safely, though I think heading for the terminal building. But he got down, and that's the main thing. Well done, Dan. Now, Danielle Sanderson. A pretty good approach so far, but reaching that point when the runway seems to rush up to you at frightening speed. And she is in a bit of trouble. She's veering away to the right. She's not correcting it. And she's over the grass now. Can she get it down? She's descending very fast indeed. And what's happened, the plane hit the ground so hard it's bounced back up into the sky. And I think she's in a bit of trouble here. There's not a lot she can do. We're coming down very fast. And as you can see, a pretty bad crash, but at least she enjoyed it. Finally, with the runway in Hong Kong directly ahead, it's Welshman Les Shutt, a farm manager, just a shade too far left and high according to that flight director instrument, but making good, gentle corrections, just nudging the stick forwards and right, and coming in now over the middle line of the approach lights. Just needs to keep his nerve and hold the Hawk steady, going very nicely over the runway, close to the center, and this is the moment. If you can just hold it there, almost down, and that's a beautiful landing. Working with his feet on the rudders now to hold it straight, and straight it is, and really you can't do much better than that. Now for the result of this second round. Taking into account the approach, the touchdown and the rollout, here's how Flight Lieutenant Barry Wright judged it. In fourth place, Danielle Sanderson, who bounced and then crashed on landing. Third, Den Hewitt, who landed safely but on the grass. In second place, Louise Williams, who got down on the runway but veered onto the grass. And the clear winner, Les Schutt, with a good approach, an excellent touchdown and rollout. So those points are now added into the scoreboard, and there's a change at the top. Our ladies share second place, Louise Williams and Danielle Sanderson, but the new leader with a Krypton factor of 14 is the farm manager from Ruthin, North Wales, Les Schutt. So a very even contest as we go into round 3, our new observation test. Remember that in this year's series you see just the one take of a sketch. The task is to pick out the 6 deliberate continuity errors. So, for example, a decanter at the beginning of the sketch might become a wine bottle by the end, or an important piece of information might be restated inaccurately. So watch carefully and listen hard to everything. And this week, we welcome a new member to the Krypton Factor team, young comedy actor Steve Coogan. In tonight's sketch, he plays 2 very well-known showbiz celebrities. So, turn to your screens now, please, contestants. Quickly, concentrate hard as we present our own special version of Film 89.
And finally, Sylvester Stallone, better known for his gung-ho, get-them-before-they-get-us mentality, has decided to take himself seriously, in a style positively Shakespearean. And a good thing too. I met him at his location hotel during a break in filming for his new movie, Hamlet. Sylvester, this is obviously a major departure for you, and what interests me most is, do you see Hamlet as the timeless example of man's painful introspection, or do you take the more traditional view of the indecisive anti-hero who has no control over his own destiny?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
To direct the blockbuster, Stallone coaxed highly respected Royal Shakespeare Company director Sir Stafford Baxter back to celluloid. Agreeing to set the movie in 13th century Vietnam was a brave decision.
Okay, love.
I think so. It's just...
Yes, I know. Let's do this one for Dickie, boys. Okay, Sly, we're ready for you now. Sylvester, what on earth are you doing now? A gun belt in the 13th century?
Dexter, I always wear my gun belt.
This can't go on. Your rewrites are bad enough. You simply cannot say to be or not to be. God bless America. It doesn't fit.
Okay, give me the writer.
He's dead.
What was it, homicide?
Oh, can we please go on?
And so to a sneak preview of Hamlo. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, or rather Nam, as Stallone, or rather Hamlo, prepares for a duel with Laertes.
Hold! I have a voice and a precedent of peace to keep my name on guard. But till that time, I do receive your offered love. Like love.
Like what?
Like love.
Ugh, no way. God bless America.
And I'm sure you'll agree, they don't come much more rotten than that. Next week, we'll be looking at Julie Andrews in Zombie Death 2. But for now, good night.
That's the lot, contestants. Will you turn to the front now, please, and start writing down what you think the 6 deliberate continuity errors were. And as that will take them a few moments, let me firstly thank Barry and Sly, or rather Steve Coogan, and secondly, let you into the secret of what those deliberate mistakes were. Here come all 6. Number 1 was Stallone's cigar, which changed to a much smaller cigarette. Then a name change. The director was called Baxter by everyone except Stallone.
Dexter, I always wear my gun belt.
And the director's spectacles, which disappeared during the sketch, were continuity error number 3. Next, the name of the movie.
I met him at his location hotel during a break in filming for his new movie, Hamlet.
But later it was no longer Hamlet.
And so to a sneak preview of Hamlo.
Number 5 was a date error.
A gun belt in the 13th century.
But the caption showed a date in the 14th century. And the Film 89 logo in the set was the final error. It had disappeared by the end of the sketch. Well, how many did you get? Better than our contestants, I wonder? Well, you can find out now as I tell them how they scored. Louise, you got 3 right, and Danielle, you also got 3, so the two of you share third place. Den, you spotted 4 of the errors, and Les, you also got 4, so you two are joint winners of the round. And very quickly, we shall enter those points into the scoreboard to see if that affects the situation very much. And there you are. Den has jumped from 4th to 2nd place, but stretching his lead to 6 points, with a Krypton factor now of 24. It's Rithin's Les Shut. Major Tony Carr starts the race. Louise Williams nearest to us in red and makes a mistake. Has to go back and do that again. She put her foot down in the ditch. But Danielle Sanderson there, a tutor. Now, interestingly, one of the topics she teaches is action planning. Tells the students to formulate personal goals and think how to achieve them. And she set herself the goal of winning Krypton. Well, here's 2 men, I'm sure, who'll want to stop her doing that. Den Hewitt nearest to us. And on the far side, Les Shutt from Ruthin in North Wales. Les is a keen rugby player, plays for Ruthin Rugby Club as a lock or flanker. He says he prefers to be a fullback. Danielle into that cargo net, bit of a mistake there, really needs to land on the rope and start climbing. And the 2 men going very fast indeed at the beginning, closing the gap on Danielle, who's sticking to her task in the lead, but definitely the gap is closing. Danielle Sanderson from Hertfordshire, but there's Den Hewitt in 2nd place. Les Shutt is now in 3rd place. Louise Williams is 4th. And a mistake by Den Hewitt. Feet go through the ropes there. And Les Shutt on the far side also makes a mistake, and another one. So that's given Danielle Sanderson new hope. And Louise way back in 4th place, I'm afraid. But good climbing there by Danielle, holding on to that central strand and climbing. But Den Hewitt right beside her in 2nd place, and Les Shutt not very far behind in 3rd. Now, who's going to go over the top first? About 30 foot high up there, and a stiff breeze blowing across, so it's not pleasant at all. And it's Den, I think, who's just about gone into the lead by half a stride, and Les Shutt in 3rd place. But all 3 coming down that scramble net together. This is going to be a good battle. Danielle certainly isn't going to give up at this point. But Den Hewitt, well in the lead now, is very keen on 5-a-side footballs, won quite a few trophies with his local Department of the Environment, and Danielle, giving it all she's got, goes down in the water. And really, I think her legs just started to go there, and Les has gone well clear in 2nd place as Danielle goes into the 2nd water jump and goes down. Well, really, those legs must be like jelly at the moment, and that's unfortunate for her because she was hanging in there well. But it's Den Hewitt coming down the aerial slide. And just as he reaches the water, Les Shutt will be setting off just about now, but Den grimaces as he lands, but a very good landing, and about to pull his hands out of those safety loops, which is quite a skill in itself. Les Shutt landing. In fact, if you pull too hard, those loops will actually tighten on you. Here comes Danielle hitting the water, thinking what might have been but for those 2 mistakes in the earlier water jumps. But it's Den Hewitt who comes under that flat net and crosses the line. 1st place, great run by Den Hewitt. And it's going to be Les Shutt, the Welshman, in 2nd place. 6 points to him. Good run by both of them. Good battle between the 2 of them. And there's Louise down in the water too. That'll be very cold, I can tell you. But Danielle Sanderson now fought well, just faded at the end and comes home in 3rd place to get the 4 points. And now we go to the scoreboard where Den Hewitt has closed the gap to just 2 points. But still the leader with a Krypton factor of 30 is Welshman Les Shutt. On into the vital 5th round, which so often has brought about dramatic changes. This is the intelligence puzzle and a real test of nerve and logic. In front of each contestant is a series of pentominoes displaying different coloured lines. The task is to piece all those pentominoes together so that adjoining coloured lines match, thus completing the famous map of the London Underground. Right, are you all ready, contestants? The test starts now.
And right at the start, I should remind you that none of our contestants are from London and therefore aren't regular users of the Underground, so no advantages there. But being a logic problem, you must think of the logical steps. Clearly, you want to seek out the pentominoes which show the ends of the various underground lines, and you should build progressively from the bottom upwards. That's important. Now, all the contestants spotted quickly that the black northern line finished right at the bottom, so that's a starting point. This is Danielle, who was in third place going into the round, doing well. And so is Louise, who was overall in last place, desperately wanting maximum points here, but Les Schutt's in trouble. That's exactly what happens when you don't build progressively from the bottom up. Dan Hewitt struggling a bit, and that's a very precarious move he's undertaking now. And so too is Danielle. That's very risky. And it all falls down. You just can't pull a piece out from the bottom like that. But this is looking good. Louise Williams, she's built steadily and logically. It's that one piece to go at the top, and that's it. Louise Williams from Hooton on the Wirral wins the 10 points. Very well done. That's an excellent performance. Now it looks as if Les Schutt has recovered from that unfortunate collapse. Just one piece to fit. There it is. And strangely enough at the bottom rather than the top, but he's recovered to get second place, and that's 6 valuable points. And it's Danielle who I think is going to take third place. In goes that last section, and 4 points to Danielle Sanderson.
Well, congratulations to Louise, and it happens so often in this round. The person going into it in fourth place wins and gets very much back into the running. And if we check the scoreboard, you'll see there that Louise has jumped up into third place and only 2 points behind second. But the leader with a Krypton factor now of 36 is still the man from North Wales, Les Schutt. So it's still anyone's contest as we move into the 6th and final round. At the end of it, we'll know who'll be progressing to the group final. The winner certainly goes through, but tonight's runner-up will have to score at least 38 points to have a chance too. 100 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions coming up. 2 points for the right answer, 2 points deducted for the wrong one. Thumbs on the buzzers, contestants. The clock starts now. Chemically, Ag is the symbol for which? Danielle?
Silver.
Correct. What is stamped on gold, silver and platinum articles to show quality and date? Den?
Hallmarks.
Correct. In 1867, which marquis gave his name to the rules that controlled boxing? Den?
Queensberry.
Correct. Who was proclaimed Queen when Edward VI died in 1553 but reigned for just 9 days? Danielle?
Jane.
Pardon?
Jane.
I need the full.
Jane Seymour.
No, Lady Jane Grey. Which popular grey horse won the 1989 Cheltenham Gold Cup? Answer too late, Desert Orchid. Which country owned the Orkney and Shetland Islands until the 15th century? Answer is Norway. Norway Pout, Topknot, Dolly Varden and Xander are all what sort of creature? They are fish. Who wrote So Long and Thanks for All the Fish and Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency? Den?
Douglas Adams.
Correct. Adams Peak is a mountain on which Indian Ocean island of which Colombo is the capital? Les?
Sri Lanka.
Correct. Where in Lancashire in 1894 was a 520-foot high steel tower built modelled on the Eiffel Tower? Den?
Blackpool.
Correct. Blackwater fever is a severe form or complication of which mosquito-transmitted disease? Danielle?
Malaria.
Correct. Malibu and Monterey are on the coast of which state of the United States? Den?
California.
Correct. Which California-born actress starred in the films Looking for Mr. Goodbar, The Little Drummer... Den?
Diane Keaton.
Correct. Who wrote the tales of Tom Kitten, Pigling Bland and Jeremy... Louise?
Beatrix Potter.
Correct. Which part of the body that Pott's disease may affect contains lumbar, thoracic and cervical vertebrae? End of the round, the end of the contest. The winner tonight with a Krypton factor of 42 is the civil servant from Chester Street, Den Hewitt. Well, a tremendous late run there by Den, and congratulations to him on a splendid victory. We look forward to seeing him again in the Group A final. Until then, from all the contestants here and from me, good night.
Well, the hunt is on to catch some of America's slippiest bail jumpers next, and they don't come any bigger or better than Dog the Bounty Hunter. Don't go away.